Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. We are now live for the fourth grading. Oh, okay. For the fourth grading, our first lesson for the fourth grading will be about trigonometric ratios. Um, by the way, this will be the first topic nga to i-discuss for the fourth grading. Good luck everyone. Gamay na lang kaayo nga pag-antos. Mahuman na kita sa tong lesson. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, for today's lesson, our objective at the end of the lesson, students will be able to first find the six trigonometric ratios of an acute angle, and then the second one is to determine the trigonometric ratios of complementary angles. Okay, so let's start. So, introduction to trigonometry. The word trigonometry is derived from the Greek word trigon, meaning triangle, and metrio, meaning measure. Hence, trigonometry is the study of measurement of triangles. This study of triangles has enabled the Babylonians, who lived more than 3,000 years ago, to apply certain basic rules relating to the sides and the angles of the triangle in survey, astronomy, and navigation. It was the Greek, however, who established the relationship in the form of ratios at about 150 BC or before Christ. When we use a ruler or a measuring tape to determine the thickness of a book, the height of a table, or the length of a soccer field, we are making direct measurements. In some situations, direct measurements are difficult, dangerous, or even impossible to obtain. For example, it is dangerous for you to swim across the raging river after a storm to measure its width, or it is impossible to climb on the highest peak on the world's highest mountain, Mount Everest, just to measure its height. The problems above can now be solved by indirect measurement with the help of trigonometry. So, trigonometry is a powerful tool for measuring indirect measurements of distance and height, and plays an important role in the field of surveying, navigation, engineering, and many other fields of physical science. So I hope you are interested in learning about trigonometry. So relations among trigonometric ratios. Okay, so we have here a trigonometric triangle, no? Similar triangles. We have two triangles here, triangle ABC and triangle ADE. In the figure, it shows two similar triangles, so ABC and ADE. Measure the length of segment AB, AC, BC, AD, AE, and DE. So applying similar triangles, we get the following ratios. So we have here BC over AB. Okay, so ang height and the kaning dinhi sa adjacent. So dinhi pod sa pikas is the height also DE over AD. Okay. Then we have BC over AC is to AD over AE. Okay? So pareha ra gyud nako unsa imong buhaton dinhi sa pikas nga triangle, same ra imong buhaton sa pikas nga triangle. Okay? Next, and last, AB over AC and AD over AE. So what have we learned? Okay. So notice that the ratios of the corresponding lengths of two triangles are the same. Okay. So here we have, okay, the same man sila, same concept. So here we have triangle ABC. Okay. With respect to theta. Okay, theta. This is angle theta. Okay, theta is a Greek word. I mean Greek letter. Okay, so the side BC is called the opposite of theta. Okay, so kining BC, opposite of theta. Then we have side AB is called the adjacent of theta. Okay, opposite, bali at bang. Then adjacent, but pasabot, unay siya ba? Along. Okay, along the theta. Okay, the side of theta. And AC, which is opposite the right triangle, okay, opposite siya at bang siya ni right triangle, is called the hypotenuse. Okay, take note of that, the placement. This is with respect to theta. But pasabot, tanaw ni mo aso si theta, of course, ang iyang atbang is the opposite. And then, ang along niya is the adjacent. Of course, constant si hypotenuse. It is the longest leg of the triangle. Or it is the opposite. Always siya, the opposite of the right triangle. The right angle, rather. For the right triangle ABC, okay, we have BC over AC. Okay, so BC is the opposite of theta over the hypotenuse. This is called sine theta. Okay, this is sine theta. Take note, sine theta is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Then we have AB over AC. Okay, or the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Adjacent side over the hypotenuse. This is called the cosine theta. Then we have BC, okay, BC over AB, which is opposite over adjacent. This is called the tangent theta. Then we have AC over BC, which is hypotenuse over the side opposite or ang inverse ni sine, no? Baliktad siya ang placement. So, dinhi, BC over AC si sine. Ang yang baliktad AC over BC, hypotenuse over the side opposite. This is called the cosecant theta. Next, we have AC over AB. Baliktad ni cosine theta, which is the second, called the second theta. Then last, we have AB over BC, which is side adjacent to theta over the side opposite of theta, or the inverse of tangent theta. This is called the cotangent theta. Okay, take note, ha? Sine is opposite over the hypotenuse, adjacent over the hypotenuse. The tangent, we have opposite over adjacent. Cosecant, we have hypotenuse over the opposite. Then second, we have hypotenuse over the adjacent. And the cotangent, we have the adjacent over the opposite. Ako ni siyang gi-arrange ani para makita ninyo nga inverse na sila, ha? Inverse. Inverse ni sine. Okay? Ang formula sa inverse ni sine is cosecant. Ang inverse ni cosine is secant. Ang inverse ni tangent is cotangent. Okay. So, oops. Find the six trigonometric ratios for angle alpha and beta in the right triangle shown below. Okay. So this is alpha and beta. Okay. So you have here side C, basta sides gani small letters. Ang ilahang opposite dayon anang angles are capital letters usually. So find the six trigonometric ratios. So ato tong balikan. Okay? So gamito nato ni siya ang mga formulas, no, in finding the six trigonometric ratios. So we have here shortcut, by the way, in remembering the six trigonometric ratios. We have SOH, okay, SOH, which is sine is equal to opposite over the hypotenuse. Okay, mnemonics ni siya. Cosine, okay, C is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent, okay, TOA, tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. Then, cotangent, cow, okay, cotangent is equal to adjacent over opposite. Then, siya, secant is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent. And then, shoe, which is cosecant is equal to hypotenuse over opposite. So, imanina siya. So, katawa, kausa, chu. Muna siya shortcut. Okay, so padayon ta. Balik sa tong example. So, we have here side C is equal to 17, side B is equal to 15, and side A equal to 8. So, pangitaw na to ang measurement, okay, ratios rather, the six trigonometric ratios with respect to alpha and with respect to beta. So, kung alpha, unahon na to si alpha. So, with respect to alpha, so, sine alpha, okay, sine alpha, sine man. So, opposite over hypotenuse. So, A over C, which is equal to 8 over 17. Then we have cosine alpha, which is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, which is equal to B over C, which is 15 over 17. Remember, ratios lang atong ipangita, ha? Okay, so ratio lang atong ihata. Okay, then next, tangent. Tangent alpha, okay, with respect to alpha, so opposite niya is over A over B, which is equal to 8 over 15. Okay. Next, so we have cotangent alpha. Okay, opposite ni tangent alpha. Okay, so B over A, which is equal to 15 over 8. Then we have secant alpha, which is equal to, okay, C over B, which is equal to 17 over 15. And last, okay, cosecant, okay, cosecant alpha is equal to C over A, which is equal to 17 over 8. Okay, take note, ha? This is the abbreviation for sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant. Timani ang ilang mga abbreviation, ha? Muna siyang inyong gamiton pag kung dili na itong whole word na secant, cosecant, cotangent, tangent, okay, cosine, di na. Kuha na, 3 letters lang na abbreviation. Sin, cos, tan, CSC, sec, and cot. Okay, now we are done with alpha. Let's proceed with respect to beta. Okay, so si beta na sad. Now, with respect to beta, yung opposite is B. Okay, B. Then, ang yung adjacent is A. And then, of course, the hypotenuse. Always yun na siya opposite of the right angle. Okay? So then, we have sine beta. Okay, beta. So opposite is B over C. Pagpasabot, that's 15 over 17. Next. Okay, cosine beta. Then he said cosine. So, ang yung adjacent is A. Remember, with respect to beta, ayan siya. So, adjacent is A over C, which is equal to 8 over 17. And then we have tangent beta. Okay, so tangent beta is equal to B over A, which is 15 over 8. And then cotangent beta, which is equal to A over B. Okay, baliktad ka ni tangent, which is 8 over 15. And then, we have secant beta, which is equal to C over A, or 17 over 8. And then last but not least, cosecant beta, which is equal to C over B, equal to 17 over 15. Take note. Okay? This is with respect to alpha and with respect to beta. Take note. Ang sine dinhi, okay, ang value ni sine dinhi, nahimong value ni cosine sa beta. No? With respect to, ang sine alpha, mahimo siyang cosine beta. Ang cosine alpha, mahimong sine beta. Ang tangent alpha, okay, mahimong cotangent beta. Ang cotangent beta, alpha rather, mahimong cotangent, tangent beta. Then, secant alpha, okay, is equivalent to the cosecant beta, and the cosecant alpha is equal to the cosecant beta. Okay, tanawa ang difference, no? Tanawa ang ilang difference. So, take note of the difference. With respect to alpha and beta, okay, depende kung asa ang placement. Lahi ang iyang opposite. For alpha, yung opposite is A. For beta, yung opposite is B. Take note of that. Okay, we have here another example. If sine theta is equal to 12 over 13, find the other 5 trigonometric ratios. Okay, solution. Since sine theta is equal to side opposite to theta over the hypotenuse, then we let A equal to 12 and B the unknown. Okay? Okay, remember, sine ba siya? A and C ra siya. Okay? And C is equal to 13. So that is opposite of the right right angle. Okay? So we have here C, 13. A, opposite ni alpha, is equal to 12. Then we have B, the unknown. So how, first things first, before na to magpangita ang 5 trigonometric ratios, we have to find the value for B. No? Otherwise, ang atong makuha ra is the value for sine and cosecant. Other than that, dili na nato makuha si cos, sine, and tangent. Okay, so how do we find the value of B? Hindi na to magamit si Pythagorean theorem. I-apply na to ang Pythagorean theorem. So we have here A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared, or the sum of the two lesser legs is equal to the sum of the square. Okay, the sum of the square of the two shorter legs is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. Okay? So, muna siya. So, we have the value for A and C. So, apply na to. May mo siyang 12 squared plus B squared is equal to 13 squared. So, atong gamitan og additive inverse. So, bali na to si 12 squared, which is 144 to the other side. Okay? So, 13 squared is equal to 169. So, B squared is equal to 169 minus 144. So, B squared is equal to square root of 25. Ano square root of 25? Remember, in order to get the value, we take the square root of both sides of the equation. So, para mawala ang exponent 2. So, B is equal to square root of 25 and 25 is equal to 5. So, we have now the value for B, which is 5. Pwede na dahil nato makuha ang other 5 trigonometric ratios. Other than sine, kay sine na naman ta, 12 over 13. So, let's proceed with cosine theta. Okay? Then cosine theta, okay, is equal to adjacent, which is B over C. Adjacent over hypotenuse, which is equal to 5 over 13. Then tangent theta, okay, tangent is opposite over adjacent. Opposite is A over B, which is equal to 12 over 5. Then we have cotangent theta, which is the opposite or the inverse of tangent theta, which is B over A, which is 5 over 12. And then secant theta, which is inverse of cosine theta, which is C over B. So 13 over 5. And last but not the least, okay, cosecant theta, which is the inverse of sine theta, which is equal to B over A, rather C over A, okay, C over A, which is equal to 13 over 12. Okay, so, di ba, sayon ra tayo, mangitas 5 trigonometric ratios. So, I do hope, sayon ra kayo ni siya, nansira ninyo ang inyuhang, what do you call this, ang inyuhang modules. So, take note of the 6 trigonometric ratios. Okay? Asa unsa siya, saan pagkuha si sine, si cosine, si tangent, asa siya pangitaon. With respect to any angles. Okay? So, let's proceed. We have here trigonometric ratio of complementary angles. So, two angles are complementary angles if their sum is equal to 90 degrees. In the figure, theta and phi are complementary angles. That is, theta plus phi is equal to 90 degrees. Remember, the sum of the angles of the triangle is equal to 180 degrees. Remember, right angle is 90 na siya. But pasabot, the other two is the sum of 90 degrees. Okay, 90 naman. Hello? Okay, sorry. Nawala ang mic. Oops, balik. Now, with respect to theta, okay, can you see theta? Sine theta is equal to A over C, or opposite over the hypotenuse. cosine theta is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is b over c. Tangent theta is equal to opposite over adjacent, a over b. Then we have cotangent theta, which is the inverse of tangent, which is adjacent over the opposite, b over a. Then secant theta, which is the inverse of cosine theta, we have c over b, or hypotenuse over the adjacent. And last, with respect to theta, we have cosecant theta, which is the inverse of sine theta, which is c over a, or hypotenuse over the opposite. Now, with respect to phi, kini si phi, dini na sad ta. So, ang iyahang sine phi, okay, is equal to b, okay, opposite over hypotenuse, which is b over c. Then, yung cosine, yung adjacent is a. Okay? So, a over c. Okay? So, adjacent over the hypotenuse. Then, tangent, we have opposite over the adjacent, which is b over a. Then, cotangent, inverse of tangent, which is a over b. Okay? Baliktad. So, that is adjacent over the opposite. And then, second phi is equal to the hypotenuse over the adjacent, which is c over a. Then, cosecant theta inverse of sine, not theta, phi, rather, sorry. Cosecant phi is equal to c over b. Okay. Opposite man. Hypotenuse over the opposite. Okay, take note. Pareha ka ganina, no? Ato makita, si sine theta is equal to cosine theta. Sine phi is equal to cosine theta, which is t over c. Cosine phi is equal to sine theta, which is equal to a over c. Then tangent phi is equal to cotangent theta is equal to b over a. Okay, take note, phi is equal to 90 degrees minus theta. Okay, katong complementary angles atong gikuan ganina din sa ibabaw. Okay, so sa relation na ana, ato dayon na siya tanawa ha, equal na siya. Okay, so equality. Okay, property of equality. Therefore, kung ato ni siyang i-apply, dinhi, so we have sine 90 degrees minus theta is equal to cosine theta. No? Ato siyang instead of sine, ato ni siyang ang phi atong balhin into 90 degrees, atong substitute to 90 degrees minus theta. So, kining phi. So, sine is equal to 90 degrees minus theta is equal to cosine theta. Cosine 90 degrees minus theta is equal to sine theta. Tangent is equal to 90 degrees, okay, minus theta is equal to cotangent theta. Okay? And cotangent, okay, 90 degrees minus theta is equal to tangent theta. And second, 90 degrees minus theta is equal to cosecant theta. And cosecant theta is equal to 90 degrees minus theta is equal to secant theta. Okay? So, I hope wala mo naglibog, no? Tanawon lang ninyo dinhi with respect to theta and phi. Okay? Unsay pareho. Okay? Unsay equal. And then, instead, atong na siya gi-equate, nga equal sila. Instead of phi, atong gi-substitute ang phi sa 90 degrees minus theta. Asa na ito na nakuha? From the complementary angles, no? The sum of the measures, okay, of the two angles is equal to 90 degrees. So, muna siya. Okay. So, let's have an example. Okay, find the acute angle theta if 1. Sine theta is equal to cosine 29 degrees. 2. Cosine of theta minus 40 degrees is equal to sine of theta minus 20 degrees. And then third, tangent theta is equal to cotangent of theta minus 15 degrees. So, i-apply na nato ni siya sa atong solution. Okay, solution number 1. For sine theta equal to cosine 29 degrees. Okay. So, cosine man siya sa atong buhaton. Unsa ganito siya ang cosine? So, ma-change na ang cosine into sine 90. Then, instead of theta, kanang 29 degrees, muna siyang theta. Okay? So, sine 90 minus 29 degrees. So, 90 minus 29, okay, we have sine theta is equal to sine of 61. Then, atong by multiplicative inverse, so, multiply both sides by 1 over sine. So, mawala ang sine dire, mawala ang sine dire. Theta now is equal to 61 degrees. So, muna siya ang measurement ni theta. Okay? Next. So, we have cosine of theta minus 40 degrees is equal to sine of theta minus 20 degrees. So, unahon nato ang dinhi pikas, no? Unahon nato ni siya. Okay, always, ang naa sa right, may atong i-operate. So, may mo na siyang cosine of theta plus 40 degrees is equal to, okay, remember, sine theta. Sine, ang theta is 90 minus, okay, theta. Ang theta now, may mo siyang theta minus 20 degrees. Okay? So, ang kini siya, muni siya ang theta. Equivalent to theta. So, 90 minus 20 degrees. So, muni siya ha. Okay? Sine 90 degrees minus theta is equal to cosine theta. So, instead of sine, may mo na siyang cosine. I-change kidayo na ninyo. Basta magkuha na mo, i-apply na ninyo, no? Ang complementary angle. Okay. So, next, we have here, okay, ato na dayon ning distribute si negative dinhi sa parentheses, no? So, mahimo siyang negative times positive, mahimo siyang negative. The negative times negative is positive 20. Okay? So, next, we have here 90 plus 20, okay, minus theta. So, mahimo siyang cosine of theta plus 40 degrees is equal to cosine, okay, cosine of 110 degrees minus theta. So, sa atong next nga buhaton. Okay? So, multiplicative inverse. Okay, mawala ning cosine. Okay, unsay mabilin? Theta plus 40 degrees is equal to 110 degrees minus theta. Now, ato dahil ni siyang applyan sa additive inverse. So, kining negative theta, transfer to the other side by additive inverse. So, may mo siyang plus theta. Kining plus 40, transfer to the other side by additive inverse. So, may mo siyang minus 40. So, may mo siyang 2 theta, then 110 minus 40, that is equal to 2 theta is equal to 70. And then, para makuha na itong theta, we apply multiplicative inverse. So, mag-multiply tag 1/2 on both sides. Okay? So, 2 theta over 2 is equal to theta, and 70 over 2 is equal to 35. So, theta now is equal to 35 degrees. Then last, we have here tangent theta is equal to cotangent theta minus 15 degrees. Okay. So, pareha sa number 2, no? Naa siya kining theta minus 15, nag-represent siya sa big theta. Okay? So, sabot dugangan nanto na siya o 90 degrees minus. Then, kinidayon siya nga parenthesis. So, tangent theta is equal to tangent of 90 degrees minus, okay, theta minus 15. Okay, take note, cotangent of 90 degrees minus theta is equal to tangent theta. Okay? So, muna siya nga na 90 degrees minus the quantity or the set of theta minus 15 degrees. So, i-distribute na sad nato ni siya ang negative dinhi nga sa parenthesis. So, may siyang tangent theta is equal to 90. Okay? Wala na kan. Okay. So, mahimo siyang 90 minus, okay, theta, okay, negative times positive, negative, and negative, negative, may positive. Okay? So, 90 plus 15 degrees. So, mahimo siyang tangent theta is equal to 105 degrees minus theta. Then, apply din ta na sa multiplicative inverse kay para mawala ang tangent, mabilin si theta. Okay? Multiply ta og 1 over tangent. So, mabilin. By additive inverse din, atong ibalhin ang minus theta to the other side. So, may mo siya 2 theta is equal to 105 degrees. Now, maaapa siya 2. Pare din here. So, apply multiplicative inverse again. No? Para theta ragi ang mabilin. So, multiply both sides by 1/2. So, mabilis. Theta is equal to 2.5 degrees. So, complementary ratios and how to find the complementary angles. So that's all for today. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye. Okay, bye.